If you hit it hard over the weekend, this is what you're gonna wanna enjoy now. Get back on track. There are very few things that I like to eat that actually pick me up and just like nourish my whole body, especially after a long weekend like that. So I'm gonna show you how to make this super simple greens and some beans. I love these, amazing. This much for 85 cents. Probably like $1 in the US, which is gonna make a lot. And check these out, nice, fresh, super green. Could use a little bit more water, but the first thing I gotta do is clean these. That's the hardest part of the whole thing. I'm gonna get some water boiling. All I'm gonna do with these is pull them off the stem like this. This is gonna be a lot of greens. I found the easiest way to cut these without cutting your hands off. Roll them up, and I've done this before, just cut them. Good for bite-sized pieces, not huge, long strains. Just gotta be careful, always watching where your hand is. This is the biggest pot I have in the house. Put them in here, we're gonna rinse and clean them. Give them a good quick rinse first. Because I have so many greens. Not make too much of a mess. Drain them first, lay all the dirt falls off. And I'll use this to go water my sunflowers right now.
Thanks Ann from Arizona for that super helpful tip that I could use that water that I rinse off the greens with to water my plants in England, where we don't have enough of that here. Wasn't that a good tip? Oh, I love you. Okay, let's go.
Greens go back into the pot. All right, once this water comes to a boil, I'm gonna add it right to the greens. I find this is a lot easier than adding the greens to the water. Gonna add the boiling water right to this and let them soak. This way we won't need an ice bath afterwards. It eliminates an extra step. While the greens are simmering away, we're gonna use 3 cloves of garlic. And this stuff is huge. These are good sized cloves, check that out. It's big. Use a quick dice. I didn't turn the camera on. All I did was dice up Thai chili pepper and added that to the garlic. A couple Roma tomatoes. Just gonna dice these. All right, the water's still hot, but you can see nice and melted. So at this point, all you gotta do is squeeze these out a little bit, let them drain out. Or you could pop these in the fridge and save these for when you wanna have service or when you wanna have dinner or meal or whatever, and just pop them in the fry pan and saute them with whatever you want. I'm gonna obviously eat these right now. So again, I'm going cheap, fast, and easy. I got a can of white beans here, white cannelli beans. Just gonna strain these out. All right, next, 1 onion. I'm just gonna quick dice, cut off both ends. Cut down the middle, take the skin off, and quick dice.
You're so fast, darling, like lightning.
Beans, get to the bowl, and then the onions. Okay, so I want to use a pot big enough, and this one is big enough. This is a kind of like my La Creuset style cast iron. Just gonna crank that heat on. Let that get nice and hot for a second. A little bit of olive oil here, just coat the pan. And I'm gonna add the onions, beans on top. And I have a little bit of tomato paste. Probably gonna add about 1.5 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons. And then to that, 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Good pinch of salt, probably about 1 teaspoon in there. Good pinch of black pepper. I'm gonna add some of those tomatoes that are on top of this. Not all of them, just some. Give this a little stir. Cook off that tomato paste with the onions, the beans, some nice, real nice flavor in there. So I want this to brown up nicely. All right, once it starts browning nicely, and it starts sticking to the pan and getting nice and brown on the sides here, tomato paste is cooking out. I'm gonna add a little bit of water. This is just about 1/2 cup of water. Use use that to deglaze the pan. Super simple. Lower the heat for a minute. Scraping the sides down. That's where all the flavor is, the brown bits on the pan. Quick taste, see how it is. Yum, simple. All right, all I'm gonna do with this now is just turn the heat off quick. Set it aside. Look at that looks delicious. Crank the heat back on. Add the tomatoes and the garlic with the greens. Add a little bit more olive oil and let that heat up. You gotta stir. Still want to use the flavor from the beans. A little bit of salt here, black pepper, and then we're gonna add the greens. I'm just gonna saute these for a few minutes. I'm gonna add like a 1/4 cup of this water. It's not much, just a little bit, create some steam. I'm gonna actually add a 200-gram bag of baby spinach to this. We're going full green today, beast mode. So I leave that covered for a little bit, let that steam itself inside there. Slowly start to stir it. This is gonna be a really good amount of greens for me. My biggest problem is keeping everything in the pot. I'm gonna let this cook for like 2 more minutes. Check that out, beautiful, lovely. So excited for greens. And the beans? Yes, I could add parsley, I could do a whole bunch more, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna eat them straight up like this. Delicious. Good, healthy amount of greens, like a lot. Delicious. Into the beans. Frankie's a little bit busy today. She's had a big long play day plus her long weekend, so she is taking today off. Huh, Frank? So good. You get some rest. Can't wait. This is just what I needed after a long weekend like that. Something healthy, something to reboot. Honestly, so good. Beans are so much flavor with that tomato paste and the garlic and the onions. They'll caramelize. It's really rich and deep for such a short cook time. It came out really, really well. And the greens are just delicious. I'm a huge fan of greens with a little bit of olive oil and some garlic. Add that chili, yum. So good. Super duper delicious. Healthy, amazing. Greens. This is one of my favorite things to eat after a long weekend of visiting with friends. I got some bait. Oh, good girl. Guys, if you like this super simple, very easy recipe, check out these recipes over here and have a great, amazing week. Hey, Frankie, give me a kiss first. Okay, good. There you go. No.
I love you.